everybody.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Knits and Pieces KnitChat. We're coming to you from Southwestern Ontario. I'm probably not going to have very good screen resolution tonight. We've, of course, had another technical glitch.
And it wasn't me this time.
No, it was, I don't know. I don't know why. But anyway, for some reason or other, our regular camera that we use won't connect to the program, but we'll just have to do it with what we've got, and we'll try and get it all sorted out for next week.
Okay.
So how is everybody? We should say who we are.
That's where I was headed. We are Knits
and
Pieces.
I can't remember who I am. We are. I said that. Didn't I say that?
I don't think so. Know. We are a mostly knitting and a whole lot of silliness podcast. But we're multi-crafty, and I'm Kelly, and this is my friend
Noelle. we did it opposite this time.
And we are coming to you from Southwestern Ontario in Canada. And this is our Tuesday night Knit Chat Cafe. We do record some regular podcasts that are just Noelle and I, but this is our interactive Tuesday night. And we look forward to this every week. It's where we gather together with our friends and talk about knitty things and a little bit of life things. And tonight, it looks like from the comments that there is a lot of chatter about the weather. It seems that winter has struck quite a few places. It's wintry and cold here today, and I'm already not liking it. It was snowing.
Oh, see, you're not liking it, and I'm loving it. I'm like, people are sending pictures and putting pictures on the internet of like snow covered, and I'm like, oh, I just want it to be like that here. And Kelly's like, I don't like it.
No, it's just that it went from summer-like weather because we really didn't have a fall.
I know,
we went back into that warm weather, and it was 21 degrees, and then today it's below freezing, and we
shouldn't have summer-like weather in November.
Yeah.
You just said it's wrecking your tree.
It is. It's wrecking my tree. It is. So welcome. There's lots of you in here tonight. Now, Sarah is saying, wonder if Kelly's internet is out. I don't think that I have a problem. So just let us know.
Anybody else, let us know if you can see and hear us both.
Yes. Okay. And it's good to see so many people in here so soon. Thank you.
I saw Barb was in here early tonight getting things started. And I think Barb. Maureen, and I'll probably miss him when I go through here, but I had some good chatter going on in here before we got in here. Wendy was in there, and it's so nice that you guys get together and start discussing all the things before we even get in here. So,
absolutely. Oh, Jenny. Hello,
Sarah
Jenny.
Said, never mind. She had to refresh her screen.
Okay.
Hi, Jenny.
Hi, Jenny. Jenny's a new viewer. Okay. I think I haven't been on Instagram for a few days, but I did quickly see today when I was getting ready to come in that Marianne had posted some snowy pictures. So Marianne might actually win for the most snow today.
Yes.
I'm not saying that with
Manitoba.
envy. Yes.
Well, I am. It looked like a winter wonderland. No, I don't mind snow up till about February. And then by the time February is over, I'm like, okay, I'm done.
I'm pretty much done with all the snow that I want to see right around December 26th. I'm okay with a little bit of snow for Christmas. And then after that, I would just be okay to not see snow again until the next year. Mm-hmm. So yes. And Nikki says we're all good here in New Zealand. And
I want to wait. I have to tell them.
I know.
Nikki, I am coming to New Zealand. We're doing a trip to New Zealand. I'm so excited.
I love how you say that as if New Zealand is this big and Nikki will be there waiting for you.
Well, she might be.
She might be.
Anyways, I'm so excited. We're going in February. So we actually leave here February 21st, but it takes like 24 to 48 hours to get there by the time we do our flights. And then we're actually staying. We don't leave again until the 21st of March. So we're going to be there for a month. So we're doing both the North Island and the South Island. And I do have a list, and I'll put together. We're starting in Auckland, and we end in...
You're going to share your itinerary with the world, are you?
Yeah, why not?
So if Noelle is cruising through anywhere in New Zealand on any day where you may be near her, reach out.
I'm going to bring the raft.
She's going to bring the raft, and she's coming to New Zealand on the cork raft, her and Pearl the possum. And she's looking for knitting friends and knitting adventures.
I need to say the main cities that we're going to be in, so that way everybody can tell me what are the yarn stores that's
absolutely
what are the yarn stores that I should visit. And for once, what did I did? We're going with my daughter-in-law and my son and Penelope,
who everybody knows.
Yes, and yeah, so we were just looking at places that we wanted to go, and I was just looking at some of the places in New Zealand, and the one place that I really wanted to go was Skeins. It's called Skeins. I think it's a yarn store, but they had this yarn in there called, I think it was Southlander. I think, could be totally wrong. But anyways, supposedly Napier is the name of the town, and supposedly it has the biggest wool scouring facility like in the world. And I'm telling this to Ross, and he goes, "Really?"
You mean he wasn't jumping up and down excited?
This is important. So, but anyway, so when we get closer to the time, I'll put in the places that that we're going to be, and then hopefully I can get some ideas of where to go. And hey, if anybody wanted to meet for coffee, I'd be there.
She will be there. She will for sure. I'm super jealous. It sounds like a great adventure. I'm really excited for you, though, that you get to experience it with your family. I think that's going to be so much fun. And I also heard that you are taking a helicopter and jumping off the helicopter with a bungee cord onto the glacier.
No. My son's trying to talk us into bungee jumping, and I told him I do nothing associated with bungees. Nothing, unless it's to pack my yarn tighter to get it into the suitcase.
I don't know. I just have to say that a picture of you knitting on the way down on a bungee for places you can knit might break the internet. It might. Yes, it might go viral.
Not happening. So anyway, but we are doing the helicopter to the glacier and doing I think it's Franz Josef Glacier. So yeah, so that'll be fun. So anyways, as we get closer, I'll fill in some of the places where we're going.
Preview of all the plans.
Sheila would do the bungee jumping. Okay, Sheila.
Well, Sheila would. Of course she would.
Sheila, I would watch you.
And Denise is saying that, I don't know if it's Napier, but she says it's a beautiful area.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And there's wineries all over, and my daughter-in-law doesn't drink, so she's gonna drive us when we go to the wineries. And there's all sorts of national parks that we're going to do hikes in, and yeah, really excited about it. So,
and Nikki says that there may be possum yarn there for you too.
Yeah, I know. I've been searching that out already too. So
yes.
Anyway.
All right.
So there varies with me on the bungee jumping thing.
I have to admit, I would not do the bungee jumping either. That does not appeal to me in any way.
Hey, I did zip lining, and that's as.
Yes, but okay, that's a little different though. Like you're tied off to something.
I don't like the idea of bouncing back and bouncing back up.
I think, I don't think I could do it.
Yeah, not doing it. But you know what we are going to do? You know, those great big, like transparent sort of balls.
Okay.
And you get in the middle of it, and then you get to roll all over the place.
Like a hamster wheel?
Yes. No, because you're
like the hamster ball.
Yes. So you're sort of enclosed, and I think once you fall down, it's really hard to get back up.
Didn't they have something like that in Jurassic Park in the movie?
I don't know. Yes, I think so. Anyways, I'll do a little filmy thing of it and show you what it is next week, and we'll film it when we're actually there.
Okay, sounds good. You have to be knitting while you do that too, though.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Anyway.
All right.
Okay. Anyways, this is a knitting podcast.
It is. It's not a travel blog. No. It could be, though. That would be fun, too.
I'm very excited. Yeah.
We could combine knitting and travel. As long as somebody wanted to pay me to travel, I'd knit anywhere.
I'm thinking, look at all that plain knitting time that I'm going to have.
Yes.
So.
Mike and I we're actually going away on a little trip, too. And we're leaving, I believe, on the 10th of December. We're just going for a week. We haven't traveled other than BC for a few years, much as the rest of the world. And one of our favorite warm spots is Saint Martin. And we are headed back there for a week of just relaxing, touring around. We love the island. It's a small island. You can drive the entire island in 2.5 hours. So we always rent a car when we're there. It's actually divided in half. There is a Dutch side and then there is a French side. And there are 36 beaches. And it's just, when you're there, you're local. We just love it. So, yeah. So we're headed there for a week in December.
Well, that's like for like when I was still working, I really liked going on a vacation like that because you needed it to get away, to relax, to like. But now that I'm home all the time, it's nice to go and do the exciting things.
Big adventure.
And
Absolutely.
Come home from vacation more tired than when you left.
Yes. Tired and weak, and then you got sick. And yes, you have to take better care of yourself this time.
I do. Anyway.
Yes, absolutely.
Anyway. Okay. So anyway, we do have a little bit of admin, so we should go on to that. Last week we introduced Mary's new pattern. Well, it was already on Ravelry and it had already been introduced through the Knitting the Stash podcast, but Mary was kind enough to give us some patterns to give away, and we gave away one last week on the podcast. And then we had the thread going so that anybody else that didn't get the pattern had a chance to win it for this week. So
this is Mary's pattern.
And it is the Hollyhock. I think we have a banner for it.
I do. I'll look for it. You chat.
Okay. So it's the Hollyhock wrap. It's a beautiful pattern. It was originally done in the Shorn 4 yarn, which was produced by Melissa from Knitting the Stash. And it's like a small local breed. She gets fleece from different sheep. And I think she said that this particular fleece that she used for this yarn, that shepherdess is not going to have sheep anymore. So basically it's kind of a one of a kind. You aren't going to be able to get that yarn again. Whether it's still available on her site or not, I don't know, but it's beautiful and worked up gorgeous in the wrap. So we had this going for last week, and we do have a winner. So let me just bring that up. Oh, there we go. Okay, so the winner is Anne Ball. And Anne said, the Hollyhock, what a beautiful pattern. And of course, another wonderful episode. Well, thanks, Anne. We're glad that you took the time to spend some time with us. And we're so happy that you're going to have Mary's pattern and a beautiful shawl from it. So if you could get in touch with, is she going to get in touch with us or Mary? With us, and then we direct her to Mary?
I think so, yes.
Okay.
I think that's what we talked about.
Nikki and Mary already knew each other, so.
Yes. So Anne, if you are watching and you want to reach out to us here.
Oh, there you go. Wow, you're way ahead of me this week, Kelly.
Hey, somebody has to pick up the slack.
Sorry. Anyway, yeah, so congratulations, Anne. And we hope that you enjoy knitting that.
So send us an email and we'll get you in touch with Mary for that.
Whoops. See, I'm already pressing things that I don't know what I'm doing here. Anyways, because what I see, my screen is terrible right now. So I hope that when I show things that I'm actually showing them right, because I'm not used to the webcam on here instead of the other camera. But oh well, we'll just have to go with what we've got. So okay, so there were a few other things that I wanted to talk about in admin. Okay, so we're in the middle of November. So it's not that long until 2023. Can you believe it? 2023. I can remember when it was going to be 2000 and everybody was so worried about the whole world shutting down when it turned to 2000. And now we're at 2023. Like, it's hard to believe how fast time goes by. But anyway, we're going to start a new cal on January the 1st. And this one is one that's going to go for the whole year. So while Kelly and I were in Chicago this past summer, we met some other podcasters. We met the 3-Ply Ladies and Frivolous and Frugal and PJ Knits and Dude Knits. And I can't remember. I'll get the full list and put them in for next week. But we had talked about doing a knit along that started at the beginning of 2023, and we talked about doing the Burra Cowl by Marie Wallin.
Mm-hmm.
And the Burra Cowl is a beautiful cowl pattern. It's got quite a few different colors in it. And I know that there is one of the, was it Knitting Round the Table? Do you remember I will have more information about this next week, because I know that there was one of the yarn stores that was at the meetup that is actually putting together some kits. So I'll have that information and we'll put it in for next week. And the cowl doesn't start until January 1st. So it's just kind of informal. We're going to run it for the whole year. You don't have to do that for ours anyway. For everybody else's, you might have to, but for ours, you don't have to just pick the Burra Cowl. We're going to do a whole year of, you can pick any Marie Wallin pattern that you want and make that. And Marie Wallin has colorwork patterns. She's got texture patterns. She's got cowls. She's got hats. She's got gloves. She's got sweaters. She's got dresses. And she's also got crochet patterns, which are absolutely beautiful. So we're just going to run a Marie Wallin knits kind of for the whole year. And because we're doing it in conjunction, and we'd originally talked about the Burra Cowl, anybody that does the Burra Cowl can then have 2 entries into the finished object thread. But that will be ongoing, and we'll run it for the whole year. And what Dawn had talked about from Frivolous and Frugal was she hopes that all the people that are involved in all the podcasts that are involved, that anybody that's got their cowl done or partway done, when we go to the meetup this year, we'll bring them with us to have a little show and tell.
That'll be fun.
That'll be
a lot of fun.
Yep. So if you've always thought you wanted to try a Marie Wallin pattern, or that, this is the time.
This is your time.
So, and you know what? For someone doing first time color work, a cowl is actually perfect because it's knit in the round. There's no increases or decreases anywhere. You can hide all of your ends in the middle of that cowl. So you could do just like weave a few stitches at the beginning and the end. You don't have to worry about sewing them all in. So like a cowl like that is really a good way to use it for a first color work project. Plus, you could also, even though the cowl comes in a whole lot of colors, you could adjust it and just do it in 2 colors. So
that's right. And Dawn's in here tonight. She said she's looking forward to the cowl too.
Yeah, me too, Dawn.
We are.
So,
and then that'll help pass the time until we get to see you again at the meetup. Because we're looking forward to that as well.
Yep.
Yes, absolutely.
There you go. That's right, Isabel. Isabel said the Marie Wallin cowl, it's going to give her a reason to get more yarn. I will say that. Okay, well,
because we all need a reason for that, right?
Get it before the end of the year, and that way it can count when we do the stash down that you're using.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. While we're in here talking about knit-alongs, do you want to talk about what we have going on Ravelry as well for ours?
Okay, I will. Okay, so right at the moment, we've got a couple of cows running, Makealongs running in Ravelry, and they are the Holst knit-along, or Makealong, because you can crochet or weave if you want to. So
you can just Holst along.
You just have to Holst along. That's right. So Holst along. So you can make anything that you want as long as you use Holst yarn. And you can use other yarns in conjunction with it. It doesn't have to be just the Holst yarn. So there is a chatter thread and a finished object thread on Ravelry. So once your projects are done, either, you can discuss them as you're making them in the chatter thread. And when you're finished, you can put them into the finished object thread. So where is Marie from? I believe somewhere in England, but I'm not positive on that, but I do believe that. And yes, Natalie, she does have a dress and I would love to make it. And it would be perfect for stash or new yarn.
Okay.
So,
and
I feel like I'm all over the place tonight, but Natalie's in here and I just want to do a little blurb here because Natalie's new pattern, her Advent Sock 2022 just released today. So I do have,
and I believe there was dancing involved. Did you see her little post?
I did,
but she did.
But I know I put a picture in here. Here we go.
They're so cute.
They are so cute. Okay, so this is, I just need to find the banner. I have so many banners in here. So these are Advent Socks 2022 by Natalie Sheldon. So this was just released today. And this is the sock that I showed last week. And I should run and get it. Okay, Kelly, you talk about it while I'm getting it.
Absolutely. So this year's sock is based on the theme of the Nutcracker, and Natalie has designed this. I think that she's giving you all of the details in the pattern on the story of each little banner. And I was about to point at my screen, and nobody can see me point at the screen, but she has set up the socks so that there is something to do. So if you count, she includes the ribbing at the top, the heel, and the toe. Those are 3 days. And then in between that, you've got nine little bands. So that gives you counting up to 12. And then if you do the second sock, that's 24. So that's one little section for each day of Advent, taking you up to Christmas Eve so that you have a gorgeous pair of socks to wear on Christmas Day. She puts a lot of thought into where, what she's, I don't know. I don't know quite what I'm trying to say, but she has thought this through well, and she hasn't just come up with, random patterns. Every day relates to something specific from the Nutcracker. And she did tell us the story, and I'm sorry I don't remember all of them. I remember a few, but it's just a fun, really fun pattern. And if you're diligent with that, then you're going to get there to Christmas and you're going to have this beautiful pair of socks. There's been lots of different ways to do them. I've seen, she's shown me some pictures where people are doing lots of colors the way Noelle did. And then there's also some that are,
these are
no, I was going to say, these are not yours. And then there's some people who did them the way Noelle did, where she's just using 2 colors. So,
yeah. So I know I really like Natalie's, but then there's what you come up with if you're just using 2 colors.
2 colors.
If you do Natalie's version too, like you can use all sorts of, like sock yarn leftovers, and it would be perfect to use them up. So, but anyway, just absolutely beautiful, Natalie, and they look amazing. So
Natalie's pretty much
fun to do it.
Yeah, Natalie, I always think she's like the queen of the scrappy project. I swear, if you were in Natalie's house, you could probably check in all of her coat pockets and there'd be like little balls of yarn stashed away, or you might find them stuck in sofas and things like that. She's the queen of the scrappy project. So I think that she's got those little things all around her.
Yeah. So, okay. So we're just all over the place here tonight, Kelly. We haven't even talked about what we're wearing.
No. Well, we didn't finish talking about our Makealongs either. Are you ready to finish that, or are you just over that?
You talk about it. I don't like. I didn't get much sleep today, so my mind's going like this.
Are you like a squirrel? Okay. I know. I haven't been sleeping either, so I know what you're feeling. I'm feeling pretty scattered myself.
So you can talk about the sock knit along.
The sock along. Are you looking for? And you have to stop touching your screen because.
Okay, I'll try.
You're shaking.
I promise.
How many cups of coffee did you have today? That's what I was looking for. A lot of them. Okay. So the other thing that we have going on all year in Ravelry is our year-long sock along, and we draw pattern prizes and yarn prizes each month. So we're halfway through November. So that means there's 2 more sets of draws. The pattern is always generously donated by our friend Natalie, who we just had a long conversation about. Yeah. And I'm pretty confident that now that she's released a new pattern, that will be one of the ones that you would be have the option of choosing if you should be the winner. And then we draw a second prize each month, and it is, I don't see a banner up there, Noelle. Did you get lost on the way?
I'm looking. I can't find one. I can find Holst along and.
Oh, maybe did we get rid of it?
I don't know if we ever had one.
Yes, we did, because we have a hashtag for it.
Okay, well,
must have got
in here.
Okay, we'll fix that for the next week. And then we also draw a yarn prize. And then coming up in December, we will be drawing an extra prize at the end of the year. And we have a fantastic gift that was donated by Full Moon Fibers. It's a beautiful bag by J. Henry Co-Designs, and then some beautifully dyed matching yarn inside there from Full Moon Fibers. And we were trying to get to 2,022 pairs of socks by the end of the year, and we blew through that, I think, pretty much in, was it September, maybe? Because you all are such amazing knitters, speedy knitters, and you obviously love socks because there's lots in there. So we're just going to keep that going until the end of the year and see what we can get to.
Yeah. So congratulations, Natalie.
Yes.
And
on the new release.
Yes. Okay. We have Knitty Six says we should
I just saw that.
And knitters.
Well, that would be me just crawling into bed and Noelle just crawling out of bed at
That's
her
right.
house.
No, today I made it to 4:30.
4:30? Yeah, I was awake before 5 today.
So.
Or no, maybe 5:30. Anyway. Okay.
Okay, now we can talk about what we're wearing.
25 minutes in. Yes. 25. Okay, you start.
Okay. I am wearing the Chalice Vine sweater by Beth McDonald Stone. So I do have a picture so you can kind of see it. So this is done in Holst. So the cream color is the Holst line. I think it's a Holst Super Soft. I think it is the Ecru colorway. I'm just looking for the banner for the name here. There we go. And then the top, the yoke is a hand spun BFL that I got from Stitch Noir. So really, really liked making this sweater. The detail is beautiful in it. This is the Super Soft held singly. And it's got really nice detail in the, if you look down at the bottom of the rib, I'll take the banner off here and you can see it, but the bottom of the rib is kind of a detailed cable-y detail. And then the cuff has this little ruffle at the end of it. And then the sleeves are kind of like a little bit balloon sleeve down to the bottom of it. A really fun knit. The yoke went really fast because color work yokes seem like they don't take any time. And then of course there is more knitting when you get in the body of a fingering weight. I think it was 27 or 28 stitch gauge. So that took a while, but I love the sweater. So well worth it. And the attention to detail in it is amazing. So, and this would definitely, if it had have been made in this time frame, could have fit into the Holst one.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Beth has some absolutely gorgeous patterns.
She does. And she just had a new one a couple of weeks ago as well.
Yeah. So, okay. And Kelly,
I think it's funny how, I just have to comment, we never talk about what we're going to wear. Never, ever.
Never.
We just show up. And tonight, I mean, okay, tonight we're not wearing similar colors, but I mean, the sweaters are similar. Like we showed up in a color work yoke sweater and
we saw each other today and we were both wearing totally different things.
Yeah. So we went home, changed and put something else on. And then we show up and we're wearing similar sweaters. Wendy's Barb wants to know what's the name of the color. Her cat just took off with her pen.
Oh.
The Chalice Vine. We had a banner,
Chalice
right?
Vine. Yes. I did have it up. Let me see if I can find it.
There it is. Okay.
Yeah.
The Chalice Vine sweater by Beth McDonald Stone.
Yes, and Wendy had asked about the color work in the yoke. It's a hand spun and it's all one yarn. So it was hand dyed, so it kind of goes into the effect of the color gradient or just all different. So it's not me changing colors all the time. That was the yarn. So.
Very nice.
Okay.
And I am wearing something that I did not bring in a picture for nor a banner because I arrived too late into the room and somebody was having camera problems, so I didn't get a chance. But I'm wearing the Miserina sweater, and I suppose I could probably type that in quick enough.
By Caitlin Hunter.
Yes. By Caitlin Hunter, which is Boylan Knitworks. And
this is an awesome pattern to knit. We both loved knitting this pattern.
We did. It was we both talked about how it was one of our favorite yokes. And I don't know how well it's showing up on camera, but in between the color work, get that out of the way, in between the color work, there's this little cable section that we both really liked. And then there's lace at the top. There's an interesting neckline. And then even on the sleeves, it duplicates that. So it is a short sleeve sweater, and this one is fairly cropped, and it has a texture in the body of the sweater too. It's a very light texture. So I wear this one a lot with, I have long sleeve dresses that are kind of like this. This is just a shirt tonight, but I wear like those long sleeve knit dresses, and I really like this sweater for that purpose. Or in the summertime, I will just wear it. It's, I did make this with sock yarn. So it's Leo and Roxy the green is, it's called, excuse me, it's a color I don't think they have anymore. It was Deep Stash and it was called Pistachio. And then the dark brown is Knit Picks, excuse me, Knit Picks, and the colorway is Fedora. And Knit Picks is having a big sale. Are they still, or is that
I don't
over?
know.
Oh, I like the way you cringe. Did you indulge?
No, I didn't. I just don't want to hear about any more sales.
I know. We just can't listen to the sale chat anymore. But I did not order either. And that's probably the first time that I actually didn't order from a Knit Picks big sale. This is their big sale. So if there is something that you're looking for, then dive in. Kelly, what is the gauge? Mary, I don't know these things. I don't remember. I knit this one a couple of years ago. I would say.
I think the pattern was like.
It's a fingering weight sweater.
20.
So
20. But I do think you knit it looser. I think it was 20.
Yes. Like it wasn't on. The details are my Ravelry page. Sorry,
and this
Mary.
will,
I don't
there
remember
will
these
be,
things
there
like
will
well.
be notes, and I will link all the patterns. So you can go in and look, and it'll show what size needles we used and what our gauge was. And so
it didn't take me very long to knit either.
it was
just
fun.
having that little bit of texture down below kept things moving. And I think you made yours with long sleeves, did you not?
I did. Yes. I made long sleeves. I did mine in Patagonia.
Yes, that's
from
right.
Patagonia, and then I had a hand spun through the yoke.
Yes.
But like the yoke, honestly, the yoke just like flew off the needles.
It was so fun, like having the color work and the cable in there.
Cables and the little bit of lace up at the top.
And there are some really long floats in here, as you can imagine, like to get from one motif to the other. Obviously, you've got a pretty big space in here. I did mine differently. I embrace the floats. That's the phrase that Caitlin Hunter uses, and she just goes with it. So I did not catch my floats, and you used an interesting
I did.
technique.
I used the ladder back jacquard technique, and I caught my floats. So
yes.
And Knitty 6, I do like the Patagonia. In fact, I love the Patagonia.
Yes, you use it a lot.
Yeah.
Somebody, Kim, is saying that the Knit Pick sale is on until the 21st. So if that interests you,
I'm going to disconnect my internet.
I know, right? I know. Okay. What else?
Did you finish anything?
I did.
I did too.
Well, I know you finished. Okay, you start, because I know you've got a lot.
I finished 2 things, but I don't have them with me because I've already gifted them.
I already told you you're going to have to carry the show tonight.
Okay. So I finished a little hat for Penelope. Let me just find.
I'll look. You talk.
I got it there. So this is
so cute.
This is the Snow Globe by Tin Can Knits. So I actually bought the Tin Can Knits, their new book. I believe it's called Lazy Sunday. It's got 12 patterns in it, and there is hats, shawls, sweaters, cardigans. It's an absolutely gorgeous book. I just got the e-version through Ravelry because I usually put all my patterns, if they're charts or anything, I put them right into Knit Companion anyway. So, and I was looking for a hat that I wanted to make for, and I could not find any hat that I liked better than this one. And I just thought it would be a fun little hat to knit. So that hat is done in Barocco vintage, the worsted weight. And that took like 37 grams. So that is the baby size. It goes newborn, baby, toddler, child, and there might be a couple of child sizes. And like all the Tin Can Knits patterns, it goes right up to whatever, large size adult. So that's really nice about their patterns. And that's the same with all the 12 patterns in the book. They all go from like baby up to like an adult XXL. So, because I mean, it even includes men's sizes when you get up there.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't look like it's going to fit her for long. You're going to have to make
I'm going to have to make her another one. I know. So that one, I figure that one she'll get through like maybe November, December, but she's going to have another one that comes down a little bit more over the ears. So I do have a picture of just the hat so that you can see the detail in the pattern. So it's kind of like a snow globe. I guess that's why it's called Snow Globe. It was really fun pattern to knit. And then that's just a little that was just a little pom-pom that I took off a keychain, because for the baby hats, sometimes the big pom-poms that you can buy are almost too big. So I just got like keychains at Michael's that just had like 3 little ones, and I just take the pom-pom off and then put it on the hat. And it's got the elastic, so I just put it through with some ties through a button and tie it on so that you can take it off when you want to go wash the hat. And again, we'll show you at the end. Kelly and I might have went a little crazy with Barocco vintage, but it's an amazing yarn to knit kid stuff in.
It is.
So,
it is.
Or even adult stuff. Like it's
yeah, you've made cardigans and whatnot in it.
It's machine washable and dryable. It comes in a beautiful array of colors. It's nice.
And they're so beautifully heathered.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So I believe this color, this pale pink color, is called fondant. And that was yarn that I actually had left over from something that I had knit last year, a little baby cardigan that I knit last year. Okay, so that's my first. And then the second thing that I finished was, let me get rid of this.
I just want to pop in and say that Linda answered the gauge question. It was 20 stitches and 20 stitches and 24 rows. So that was the gauge, Mary. Thank you, Linda, for looking that up.
Okay, so the next thing I finished, I was working on the Great Love by Ankastrick. And
no, that's not what we want. Sorry.
Well, you can show, there is another one there first.
Do I want the finished one?
Yeah. So this is my daughter-in-law. So this sweater is done in Knit Picks. No, not Knit Picks. I got Knit Picks on the brain now. I'm thinking about that sale.
Pulse.
It's done in Holst Garn Tides, held double. And that is a whole cone. In fact, I've got an empty cone to show you in a minute, but that is a whole cone. I had a little bit left. Like I think I have about 40 grams left, but the cone was heavy. So really that sweater, the gray in that sweater is more than 500 grams, because the cone, I probably had about 540 grams when you took off the weight of the cone. So that is a full cone of Holst Garn Tides. And then the pockets, I've got another picture that just shows the pocket. The pocket insets, again, that navy, I think it's called, I can't remember, Nightshade, maybe. But it's a navy in the tides, and so I just did the pocket lining with that. The gray color that the sweater is called Seagull. So now one thing that I do want to say about this sweater, when I finished it, was a lot bigger before I blocked it. So when I blocked it, I soaked it, and I was impatient. I wanted it to dry fast, and I knew because
not you.
I knew because it was 500 grams. I thought, okay, this thing is going to take like forever to dry. So I put it in a bag, and I put it in my washing machine, and I put it on the spin cycle, and it did shrink. It did shrink up. Now I was able to lay it out and pull it out. And I think if I went back and reblocked it again, I could pull it back to close to what the original was, but I thought I'm going to see how it fits her, and she loves the way it fits. So I'm not going to have to do anything to it, but I won't do that again. I won't take the shortcut. I will wrap it in the towels. I will walk on them. I will get most of the water out that way, and I'll lay it out. But having said that, the fabric that was created is absolutely gorgeous.
It is.
It's just amazing. And you know what? Like I did do the swatch, and I did wash the swatch, but I did not put the swatch in to spin. I just kind of pressed the water out and laid it out. So when we talked before about everything that you do to your swatch is what you do to your sweater, or everything you're going to do to your sweater, you need to do to your swatch. Yeah. Because even just that one difference made a difference in the finished item. So, but
I'm really surprised. I mean, the content in that yarn is wool and silk. And I'm honestly, I'm really surprised that shrunk up.
I'm telling you, it is still fits her, but I know that sweater was a good 2 or 3 inches longer before I blocked it. So,
that's crazy.
Now I don't know whether
because
doing
I spin everything out as well.
Like if doing a swatch like this, I'm not sure. It's hard to replicate exactly what you're going to get with a larger size garment. But having done that, I will be patient in the future. And because a lot of times in the summer, I don't spin the things because I can put them outside and they dry faster. But in the winter time, it's a lot harder. And something like that in that weight would have taken quite a while to dry. Because I was talking to Rachel about it too. And Rachel said when she did her sweater, She did just do that. She didn't put it in the spinner, and it took 4 or 5 days to dry.
Well, it may have taken that long to dry, but had it shrunk too much, it would have taken a whole lot longer to re-knit.
Well, that is true. That is
and
true.
This is already the second sweater you've knit for her
because
of the first one that went awry.
I know when I first took it out of the washing machine, I thought, like, I'm cursed.
She's not meant to have a sweater.
But anyway, she's super pleased with it, and it looks really nice on her. And
I love how you added the little detail of the different the different color in the pocket. I really like that detail. I think that's clever, and it gives a really, I don't know, it's just like a unique design element.
Yeah, and she really liked that. And that is one thing I did different too with the pockets. The pocket was a different construction, like the way they put the pocket sleeves. And when I had finished it, I didn't like there, so I actually picked up the stitches and just did a straight cast off, just to give that. I'll bring that picture back up, just to give the. Where is it here?
Amanda is saying that happened to a silk bamboo mix sweater dress that she made her daughter. She said it shrunk up, but blocked 3 inches wider.
Well, the width of it, I think actually came in a bit too. But so on the pocket, I just kind of like picked it up and just did like a straight cast off, just so you have that knit stitch edge across it. And I like that better than what theirs was. So
I really like that. That's a very nice pattern. There's a lot of interesting techniques.
I would definitely, and it was fun to knit. Like it was all over texture, but it was like, there were purl stitches in it, but I don't mind purling. So it was a really fun sweater to knit. I would love to do one for myself. I loved it. So,
and Lauren has a question that we have all been dying to know, because we've never gotten to the end of a cone before of Holst.
Oh, okay.
And she wants to know if you weighed the cone.
Yes, it's 37 grams.
37 grams.
At least that one was. I'm going to go grab it. Oh,
so
I guess right here. This is what an empty cone looks like. You could use it for a unicorn horn.
It's like an urban legend, I've made it to the end of the internet and back. But yes,
so
that's great.
Empty cone. And I weighed this one. So that's what we had said before, that on average, they're probably about 40 grams. I would give yourself 40 grams. But, good to know that. But oftentimes we've had cones that weigh over 600 grams when we get them from Holst.
Yes, absolutely. So, yeah, that happens regularly.
You're right, Sheila. Penelope probably would like the cone. So would Molly and Isla and Zoe. They could find lots of uses for it.
Yes.
So.
Okay.
So did you finish anything?
I did. So last week I did show these. But so I'm not showing you again that I did them, but what I did was I knit a little pair of socks. So this was the, do I still have that? Yes, I do. The Sock Twins by Estelle. And they come in 2 50-gram balls, although now it comes in a 100-gram ball with a center that you can get to, which, is really clever. But I just realized that if lots of people like to knit socks 2 at a time, they probably didn't like that. They switched their way. Yeah. So anyway, I decided I went 70 grams into the socks, and where I ended, I had 2 little 15-gram balls left of the pail. So I made Miles a pair of socks.
Those are so cute.
Yeah. And I'll talk about these. So there they are. And it is the Andrea Mowry DRK Everyday Socks. Now, I made these for myself. Well, I made a pair for myself, and I loved making them. And they're some of my favorite socks. But I always said I would never knit these as a gift, because as you can see, the entire sock is knit 2, purl 2. Right down, like even the bottom of the foot is still knit 2, purl 2. It goes all the way around your foot. It's a Flegel heel, and there's these clever little picking up the stitches so that your rib pattern flows right up there. I really, really, really like the pattern, but it's a lot of knitting, even for little teeny tiny ones. And I only used 20 grams. So there's 10 grams in each
sock.
little sock.
Those are cute.
So these will be his mommy and me socks for Christmas. And even though they're teeny tiny, these are all I got done. That's all I finished anyway. They're super cute. And I know that she's going to really enjoy wearing something that he's got the same of. So they're so cute.
So I did start a pair of those.
Did you?
And I hate showing them off the blocker because they look ridiculous.
I know they look ridiculous. They just do.
This is the way I start. It's a sock. It really is a sock, people. It's a sock. Okay. So, but I'll put it on a blocker so I can show you. But this is a pair that I'm doing for one of my sons. And this yarn is the yarn that we got in Kitchener.
Yes.
The Gusto yarns.
Yeah.
So it's really knitting up nicely. I really like it. And it's a gradient. It's not we were thinking it would be striping.
And it's not.
No, it's not. It's gradient.
Because I have that yarn too.
And you have this color.
I have that color, yes.
So you can see how it's going from the.
That's really nice.
And then in the middle, it's got the golden yellow and the green. Yeah.
So I like that.
I really like it. And it's knitting up nice. And that's as much as I've got done. And his birthday's on Friday. And I don't think I'm going to get them done by Friday. But
I'm going to say you're not. Even as fast a knitter as you are, there's a good amount of knitting in those socks. There really is a good amount of knitting.
And I'm ready
when they're
start
done.
The heel, but that was already 70 rows from the toe done, and then 70 rows. And I think you and I do the same thing where we make the toe rounded as opposed to the toe that's in the pattern.
Yes.
Yes, because the toe that's in the pattern is a wedge, and we really like the more rounded shape.
Yes, and you know what? I did. I don't know. I'll pull one off here. Hang on a second. I did. I switched up my pattern when I made my own socks to the rounded toe, but when I did Miles' socks, I just did like as to the pattern. Like, look at what they look like off the blocker.
I know. They look.
They're ridiculous. But anyway, this was the pattern. This is exactly following the pattern, and you can see there, like it's not as nicely rounded as a normal sock.
Because the baby one is smaller, it doesn't look quite as pronounced as when you get an adult one that's a wedge.
But if this were the adult one, yeah, you're right. It would just be like a wedge. And I don't know about you, but my foot is not shaped that way. I like a rounder. Well, if I'm being honest, my foot is not shaped like the rounder one always either, because my big toe, my primary toe, is
you have
longer.
To do the anatomical where it goes like it's kind of like slanted up that way, and then
yes. But I mean, some people have that shorter big toe, so then they do have the perfectly rounded foot. I do not, but I continuously make rounded socks because
we need to do it like an isosceles triangle.
Thinking if I make them a rounded toe, maybe my foot will look rounded in them instead of the big toe. But yeah, so this is what they look like off a blocker. Just utterly ridiculous.
Have the name for that, right?
Yes. Oh, and that's the I'm shaking this thing at you, but that's the clever part of the pattern. It's a lot like the tin can knit. So it goes all the way from baby, and these are the baby socks, and I knit them to this measurement here is 4.5 inches, I believe. Yes, just a little shy of 4.5. And that's exactly what his foot measurement is. So, and it goes all the way from the baby sizes up to an adult. I think there's 7 or 8 size ranges in there. So it's really good value because I do think that it's a sock that you will knit again and again. So,
and one thing that I wanted to talk about too, in the pattern, like she does reference the Craft Yarn Council. And so if you're making socks or anything actually for someone and you're not sure about sizes, like I went through and I looked at the Craft Yarn Council website. So I put a couple of pictures in here. But so this is just a little thing from their website, and it shows you like this is a foot size chart for a baby, child, and youth. So it gives you the shoe size across the top, and then it gives you the measurements of the sock, right? And they've also got that same chart for men and women. So if you don't like, if you're making something for someone and you don't necessarily know, like you don't have the measurement of their foot, but if you know what shoe size they wear, then you can get a pretty good estimation of what size that you're going to do for the sock. Because a lot of times in a sock pattern, it'll say knit to the foot until, 2.5 inches less than desired length.
Right. But if you don't have that foot with you when you're knitting.
That's right. That's right. So, and that's why I'm doing this for my son. And because this is a like toe up, I don't do as often as I do top down. And because of the Flegel heel, I know that it will take up more room. So her pattern says like knit to 3.5 inches before the heel or whatever it was for that particular size. It's all different for all different sizes. Mm-hmm. So if you need to know like your overall foot length, you can go to this chart and for the shoe size, figure out what that foot length would be. And that at least gives you a little bit of information as far as being able to make a pretty good judgment of what size you need to knit it to. And I do have a banner. So this is the craftyarncouncil.com. And if you go into this website as well, it gives you all sorts of information as far as different weights of yarn mm-hmm. and how they're classified sometimes, like whether it's fine, fingering, worsted, sport, all that type of thing. You can find that in there. I also believe that there are basic measurements for different size sweaters. So there is some pretty good information in it. Like it's not patterns and stuff, but it can give you some information in regards to sizing. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of a neat website to check out and just, especially when you're making baby things and you're like, well, what size is a size 2? Or, what's the size right. of an average 2-year-old?
Absolutely.
So,
and the heel it's called the Flegel heel. And so it, you make a gusset the way it's constructed. Actually, I can show you on this sock. It's a little bit better because this is bigger to look at because I use the same. I like this heel. This is a really yep. good fitting heel for me. I have a high instep here. So this heel fits really well for me. So the way you do it is you're adding stitches here at your gusset line. So you're increasing what's on your needle all across here. And then you start decreasing. Once you get to the full width, you start decreasing, and you knit so many over, then you'll knit 2 together on the back stitch, knit 1, turn around, you purl back. So you're going back and forth until you get to here, to this point here. And something that Andrea Mowry does a really good job of in her pattern in this is having you stop, whereas most patterns that I've seen, you basically would finish your decreasing till you got right to this point, and then you just take off knitting the leg. She tells you to stop a couple of rows ahead of that, and then she gives you some little tricks on how you're going to finish off those last couple of rows so that you'll never get a like a hole or a gap. Some people struggle with getting a little bit of a gap here. You're never going to get that with her pattern. So I really do think it's a good pattern. Mm-hmm. It's definitely something that, and again, like I went back in, I wasn't 100% sure how to do it when I did these. This is not a patterned sock. This is just, it was a plain sock that I put a pattern into when I made these. And I couldn't remember the fine details of the Flegel heel, like how many to go across and start my decreases with. So I just popped back into this pattern, and that's where I pulled it from. But it's definitely a heel type that I really, really like.
Yeah.
So,
and having said that, and we've got a lot of there's some sock questions in here, and Kelly and I had talked about for when we're not going to be here, like when we're on vacation, we're actually going to do an episode about socks. So we'll talk about the different like methods of knitting them, the different heels, the different toes, show some different ones, some of the different things that we've come up with, because there's almost too much to talk about socks just to talk about it in a few minutes, because there's so many different ways that you can do them. There's so many different, you can take a pattern and you don't necessarily have to do the heel or the toe that the designer put in there. You can swap them out. And so that's for an episode. We're actually going to do an episode just on socks.
Mm-hmm.
So
absolutely. Okay.
So I did work a little bit on my,
so are we on to whips now?
Yeah.
Are we done finishes?
Yes. Well, I already showed a whip, right? My sock. Why, do you have another finish? Do you have another finish? No.
We're lost. We're just lost. I was just trying to record the time. I'm completely lost now.
Okay, so I've worked a little bit more on my fairy bouquet. So this is Fairy Bouquet by Joanna Ang.
Oh, I'll look.
Okay, you look. So this is Fairy Bouquet by Joanna Ang. And this is done in Gazelle Yarns Rock and Roll that I got in Turkey. And I showed the yoke last time. The yoke was really fun to knit. I've only got a little bit farther into the body, but you can see now the detail going down the side of the sweater.
That's really nice. I like that a lot.
Yeah. And I think I'll continue. I don't remember. I don't know what the pattern says because I haven't gotten that far yet, but I think I'll continue that right down into the rib. So
really nice.
Anyway. Yeah. So that got a little bit of work, but I really wanted to get that Great Love done. So that was the most of the work for this week. And then I did work a little bit on my festive. So I've gotten it down. I'm just about down to the rib at the bottom, but I have to hold this up here.
Oh, so that's so pretty now that you have a pattern at the bottom. Is that gingerbread people?
Little snowmen.
Oh, snowmen. Okay. They look like legs when you first held them up. Yep, I see it now.
So there's my little snowman down at the bottom. So I've got a couple of more rows in the stockingette to go, and then I'll be into the rib at the bottom. So then we're also going to do an episode showing steeking, because this is going to be a cardigan, and I've got the steek stitches going all the way down the front. So we're actually going to show the felting, the needle felting it, and then the cutting. hopefully I cut the right place. Anyway, but I'm super happy with this. So I've just
I don't want to have to edit out any language if you cut in the wrong place.
No. So, and it's just knitting. It's just knitting. I wouldn't be happy about it, but it is just knitting. It's not. But anyway, yeah. So again, this pattern, in her pattern, she's got all sorts of different little charts, and you can put in what you want because there's cute little reindeer too, and she's got presents and she's got bells and she's got the just tons of little different ones, so you can design your own pattern. So okay, and that's I did a little bit of spinning, but I don't have anything finished, so that's basically all I kind of worked on for this week.
Okay, I did a little more work. I started these the other night. So I didn't think it was fair that Kendall would get mommy and me socks and that Derek didn't get daddy and me socks. So this is daddy's sock, and it's not as bright. I hope they're not watching this episode. Well, in fact, I know they're not watching it right now. They might watch it later. Don't be shocked at how bright this orange is. It's really not this bright. It's quite a bit softer. It's one of the German yarns. And you may think, wow, she knit a sock so quickly. How did she get that done? Okay.
I did think that, and then I remembered, oh yeah, she texted me about that.
Yeah, I didn't knit this sock this quickly. What I did knit was the ribbing and the heel and the toe. This is one of the sock tubes that I have left, and it's I can't even say the name of the yarn. Is it Sashin wool, Socken wool, maybe? I'm not even sure. Sashenmeyer. It's one of those.
And Schachenmeyer.
Maybe. I don't have a ball band anymore, but I had this one done into tubes. And so what I have, or some people call them sock snakes. So I've got this one ready to start the toe at the exact same spot. And this is what I have left. So I think by the time I finish, I'm going to be up around here somewhere. So I'll have this much of a piece left, which is way more than I need for 2 more little socks for Mr. Miles. But, it's done. And what I found about the sock tubes is, although this is 60 stitches, it's definitely bigger than what it would be if I knit 60 stitches. Right. So that's what I would normally knit for a lady's sock. But I find this plenty big.
So Kelly, if it's 60 though, then is the gauge in it looser than what yours would be when you hand knit it?
I don't know. Well, definitely, because what it looks to me. So if I take this off, I'll show you. I didn't measure the gauge yet because that would be smart, and I'm not. I didn't think to do that, but I will. I'll measure it and I'll report back by the time I finish them. But if I look here, like this is what I think is a good example. Like you can see how, I'll just hold that up. It looks like mine is tighter.
Yeah. Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So I got thinking there are ways I could have combated that. I always knit my socks in a 2.25. I probably could have used a 2.5 needle and I would have got something very close. But I thought since it's heels and toes, I'm okay with it being a little bit tighter. And after I finished this one, and then you can also see like how the cuff is pulling in quite a bit more than the sock. But I did do a really super stretchy bind off because I thought even though I think this is plenty big at 60 stitches on me doing rib, I don't want the ribbing to be too tight for a man's leg. So after I finished this, I know you get a bit of flare, but I'm okay with the flare. But I thought it would be okay.
You don't see flare when it's on.
No. Right? And I thought it would be okay to do the heels and toes in that slightly tighter gauge. So then I had my husband try it on last night. He says it's completely fine. It fits him well. So I will call this a success. And so all I have left to do is heels and toes and then a little pair for Miles. So maybe by next week I'll have a
so that'll be when you do the ones for Miles though, like you're almost gonna get a whole sock though out of one color.
I know I'm probably going to end up breaking something somewhere, or since I have lots left over, like what I might try to do is make sure that I don't start at the beginning of a color. Like I might start in the middle of a color and hope that I get from the middle
to the
middle, right?
Yeah.
And I was thinking that I would do the toe in a darker color just to let it match. But now I'm thinking if I'm only going to use 10 grams, no, I'm definitely not. So I think I'm going to, like I said, I'll start from the middle and hope to get to another middle. So that he'll get some color.
You roll it and weigh it as you go along, and that way you'll know.
Yeah, because I think and I don't want to start breaking up ends and doing crazy things like that, but even like in there's a pretty solid band of orange. So look, if I took out one of those bands of orange, I'll do something. I'll make sure that he gets colors in his sock, but they will definitely match Dad. So he'll end up with two little sets of socks that he matches his parents for. Cause I'm sure everybody's going to be just sitting around checking out this little guy's socks with his parents. But anyway, it's fun. It's fun.
Okay. So there were a couple of questions that I'm just going to go back. People think doing a sock episode is a good idea. So that's good. And we should. I mean, we do the sock along, right? So we should.
Yes. And by the time you finish watching it, you'll know everything that we know about knitting socks.
But there was a question earlier about what the pattern was for my daughter-in-law's sweater. It's Great Love by Ankastrick. And again, all the information will be in the show notes. The show notes probably won't be up till like tomorrow evening, because my daughter does them and she works all day tomorrow. Well, I do them, but she posts them for us. So that was Great Love by Ankastrick. And then the other thing was Barb had asked if the festive sweater can be a pullover. Yes, she actually has two patterns, Barb. She's got a pattern for the cardigan and she's got a pattern for the pullover. Now, if I was going to do the pullover, I would just adapt the cardigan pattern to the pullover. It's more just about placement of the yoke, right? But that's why I bought the cardigan, because I thought that way it'll have the steek, and I might eventually do a pullover for the kids, maybe, I don't know. But yes, she does have both, and you could easily make the cardigan into a pullover.
Okay.
Oh yeah, someone already answered that. Karen, thanks for answering that. And Margaret says, can you put any type of heel in when you have a sock tube? Really, the only type you can put in is like an afterthought short row heel. You can't put in a fleagle or a heel flap and gusset, because you're basically cutting in to put the heel in. Mm-hmm. But we'll have to do a little research on that and just see.
Sure, we can do that.
Yep.
The afterthought heel is one where you cut your yarn and then you pop it in. So that's why I think, so many people enjoy doing that on a sock tube, because literally you get to decide where that heel is going to go. And then you sort of work out from there in that direction. And if you're unfamiliar with it, I do have a tutorial for an afterthought heel on my Tangled Stitch channel, and I can put that in above right now. I'll put a link in after the show. It'll be there.
Yep. And Nick says that you could use your leftover stripe yarn and create your own stripes by alternating between two balls. There's a great idea.
I could do that too.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that is a great idea.
That's a really good idea. Yeah.
And Sharon, yes, I have worn those socks, and so far I do like them. And we'll talk about those in the sock episode too. I'll wear them more between now and the sock episode to make sure. It's only been probably the last couple of weeks that we've actually even been wearing.
Been back into socks, yes.
So
yes.
But anyway, so that's all I've been working on. So did you buy anything?
Did I buy anything? Okay, well, yes, because I have a friend who's a bad influence.
No, I have a friend who's a bad influence.
I just offered to drive. I didn't offer to buy.
We're just not good together when we go.
In fact, I specifically saying, I'll drive you there. It'll be a fun outing, but don't let me buy anything. Okay. Anyway, moving on to things that we may have bought this week. Okay, start.
You want me to start? Okay. Well, I told you we might have got some more Barocco vintage. So, a yarn shop that's probably
local to us.
Relatively local to us. It's not a very long drive. What, about 15 minutes? We did drive by it the first time though.
We were talking.
We were talking.
It seemed like we had farther to go.
Anyway, she was having like her store anniversary sale.
And it's Country Yarns. Did you say it was Country Yarns?
So I did.
Yes.
Country Yarns. I think the address is Petrolia, but it's not really in Petrolia.
It's on LaSalle line.
LaSalle line, yeah.
And I'd never been there before, so it was fun to go. Does she still have the sale on? Do we know how long it was on for?
It was only on until Saturday. That was the last day.
Okay.
So we really like the Barocco vintage, especially for kids stuff, and just for a good workhorse yarn that you could put in the washer and dryer. So they had this color. So when we know that this color, I looked up on the Barocco website, and this color is called Guava. So this is for Penelope. So she's going to need another hat. So they also had this pom-pom. Just look at that.
It's perfect.
It's just like, I showed that to Ross, and he's like, he didn't say I love it, but it was like as much positive reinforcement as I could get from Ross. I think he said I like that better than the one you already made her.
Aw, that's nice.
But anyway, so I got 2 skeins of that, and the 2 skeins that will make her a sweater and a hat. And I think I'm going to do the snow globe hat again because I really liked it. But I will do
I like that one too, actually. I really liked it.
I will do the toddler size for the next one instead of the baby size.
Mm-hmm.
So that color is just her color, and I just loved it. So, okay, you go now.
Well, I think everything that we got was Barocco.
Everything is Barocco, yeah.
Yes. So it's the all Barocco.
I think this one is called Black Currant. So it's like a really deep burgundy. So this is going to be I got 3 skeins of that, and that's going to be a V-neck kind of school sweater for Molly so that she can wear it with her school uniform. So her school colors, they've got this burgundy, but they've also got this gold color. So the one pattern that I found is just got a little gold stripe that just goes around before the ribbings, just to give it that little pop of color. And then I think I might look for buttons that are in the other school colors. Like I think it's navy and gray and the gold, and do the buttons in that. So I think that would look cute. So really I got 3 of those. Okay, you show some of yours.
Okay, so I started with this color. It's unfortunate that their colors don't really have names. They just have numbers. So it's color 51.
If you go to the
website, you can find names. Yeah. So this one is color 5105. And I picked up a couple of skeins of this. And this is the Barocco vintage. So this is actually a worsted, not the DK. And I thought this was a really nice color for Miles. I'm going to do him a little sweater, I think, in this. I think he's ready for, I don't know, like a pullover sweater now. So I think maybe something like that out of this color. Kendall really likes neutrals. I really like neutrals, but I never knit with them. So it's kind of fun. And then I wanted to just show this too, because this was brand new to the store. So this year, Barocco has come out with a vintage sock. And the nice thing that we like about the vintage yarns is that they are really heathered. Like there's a lot of colors in there. and they came out with a line of sock yarn, and it matches the colors of the rest of their line, or it's like very close matches. So this is the sock yarn. Look at this. It's absolutely beautiful. It's soft as a dream. Doesn't feel like butter. But look at the nice mix. So I was trying to get out of the store, and she goes, "Oh, did you see the sock yarn?" Yes, I did. And so then we got sock yarn. This is fantastic value. The pricing on this, like I don't know what it is everywhere else, but she had this priced at $13. This is 100 grams. So that's going to easily be socks for me and socks for Miles, or socks for anybody else. It's very, very nice.
And it's the same composition. So actually, like you could use this for like baby knits, for baby sweaters and things.
Absolutely. You could.
And this is it's exactly the same yarn or exactly the same fiber composition as the other vintage yarns, just in a sock weight. So that was the color that I got. I got that color to go with the guava. And then they also had and like these would make like amazing textured socks.
That's what I'm thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking. And then whoops.
Go ahead.
Okay. So then Miles got a new snowsuit this year, and Kendall's been complaining about how cold his hands and head are getting, even though he has a hat and everything. So I thought his snowsuit is blue and green, and this isn't exactly the color green, but it was as close as I could get. So I got a couple of skeins of that to do hat and mitts. And then I got the sock yarn as well. It's because I really like the sock yarn. It was so, so nice. So what I will be looking for, and maybe if any of you have ideas, you could shoot me a message, or you can respond here. But if you think of something after, I originally was thinking a color work hat, but this is worsted weight. So maybe it doesn't need to be color work. It could be something with slip stitches, but then I just thought maybe I'll make him 2 hats, and maybe one would be a toque. But then the other one that I would like to make is something that ties underneath, like maybe with a little bit of an ear flap, something that we can tie underneath, because, you know, he's become this guy, you know, he's pulling everything off. So if you've got some good ideas for me, something that you've made yourself that you might like, or that you liked, let me know, because I'd be interested to see what that pattern is. I did look at the Tin Can Knits. I love their little toques. Their toques are all, I don't know where that came from.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, that's you. I was thinking I didn't touch anything. I don't know how that happened. I really like the Tin Can Knits toques. I think they're great patterns, and they do have some color work. But again, these are worsted, so likely I'm just looking for something with textures. And then today you mentioned one that actually is from Tin Can Knits that ties underneath. What was the name again? Because I already forgot. Oh, Tofino Surfer.
Tofino Surfer.
Yes. So okay. And then I got one more thing, but I think you got.
Yep, I got some more of this. So this is still the vintage. This color is rose quartz. So I got this to do my mom a sweater for Christmas. Hopefully I have time to get a sweater for Christmas done. So I've looked at patterns already, and the pattern that I liked was this. It's called Kudzu by.
I'll go grab it.
Okay, there's a picture of the sweater by Marie Amelie. So it's got like a texture in the yoke. Now the only difference that I would make is I will make the neckline a little bit higher up, and probably do it just a little bit longer. But I really like the yoke.
That's just really nice.
Cardigan, and I think it'll look beautiful in that
agreed
rose and pink color.
Yes.
So
gorgeous.
And then it's an easy sweater to take care of. It's washer dryer. So because I mean I'm not even that good at looking after things. So, but anyway, so that's all I got as far as yarn.
I got one more thing there in yarn, just because I really like this yarn, and I've got a project on the needles with the remix, but this is the remix light that everybody has talked about. And because she was having this great sale and it was there. And this one is, I know this one does have a name, but again, it won't be on here, but it's like a gray, but there's little bits of aqua in there. There's even taupe when you get a little bit closer. There's some really nice colors in there, and I really like it. So I looked up a few patterns. I don't have one picked out for it yet, but it's just a colorway that I really liked, and I thought this was a good time to get it. And then we did get a couple of other little things there.
Yeah.
Look at these. I got him some little buttons because I thought, well, firstly, how cute would this look on his sweater? These are the little bear buttons. And then I also got some giraffes. And I don't know if I would actually use these ones as buttons because they're a bit of an odd shape. But I'm thinking even on a hat, it would be really cute to kind of put one of them up there on a hat, or as you said, even just a cardigan maybe that only has one button at the top. But they're so darn cute. So darn cute. And you got some as well.
I got these little flower buttons. So I got 3 sets of them because there's 3 different colors. So then I've got enough for 3 cardigans. I just thought they were cute. And then I also got, she had really nice pom-poms. So I got some more pom-poms.
Those poms are pretty.
I know. So there's that one. And then this one. And they actually have color names. Like this is called Rainbow Sherbet. And this one was called, I don't know, because the tag fell off it. I can't remember.
Patricia said that she's making the same sweater. She's making that sweater too.
And then there's the smaller one. So that's the Silver Fox. And then the one that I showed you before for Penelope's sweater, this one was called Sunset something. Sunset something. Where is, I think I had, Julia, you're going to love this one. Look at this one. So this one is called
Julia.
Mermaid. No, it's not called Julia. It's called Mermaid Vibes. So, and then just another little white one. And I really like these pom-pom because they're the ones with the snaps. So you sew one part of the snap onto the top of the hat, and then you can just like snap the pom-pom on and take it off for washing purposes. And they're really nice too, because I've made Rachel's girls some hats with the snap pom-pom, and then when the hat gets too small for them, I can just take the pom-pom off and repurpose it on another hat. So yeah, so that's it.
I'm just writing names down
here.
She's
got some pattern names here. Oh, Easy Peasy by Tin Can Knits. And then someone was saying there was one that was a reindeer one, 8 tiny reindeer.
And then the toddler knitted helmet, the ear flap hat by Church Mouse, and the baby snowflake. And she said that they have, okay, Julia Druck. All right, so I've written down some names. I'll go and look for those after. They're pretty quick. I might have something finished next week.
Yep. Yeah, the hat, like that little hat for Penelope, it was really fun to knit. So, and just nice to get a little project like that you can get done and then go back to the sweater after that.
So I wanted to make one last little announcement too. I noticed in the last couple of days when I've checked in on the Instagram, or sorry, on the YouTube account, we are like super close to 5,000 subscribers. And I just want to say that's a huge deal to us. For sure, that's a huge deal. I can't believe that we're that close to 5,000. And I definitely think that's cause for celebration once we get to that number. I want to thank everybody. If you are a subscriber, I think that's amazing.
Does that mean we could have more champagne?
I think we could have more champagne. And I think, when we get to that number, I think definitely we'll be looking through the prize bags here and see what we can give away in an episode for that, because we are just super thankful to have all of you friends who show up here week after week for us and that send us lovely messages following the episode, and then you hit the like button, and that helps. And it really does help the channel to grow. It gets the channel in front of more people. And we're having so much fun doing this. And I just don't want you to take it for granted that we're taking it for granted, because we definitely don't.
We're already trying to figure out, because I think a couple of the Tuesdays that I'm in New Zealand, we're actually still I'm taking my computer with me. So we're actually still going to do Knit Chat, but Kelly will be on Tuesday and I'll be on Wednesday.
Yes, you'll already be a day ahead of me. So it's been a great ride so far. We're not done yet. We've got lots more things that we have planned for the future. And I just wanted to say, it's not about the number, but the number is pretty exciting when we see it. And I just really wanted to thank you for all just opening your hearts to us and your knitting needles. And it's Yeah, it's been wonderful.
Mhm.
And each week, you know, there seems like there's a comment in here that really stands out to me. And tonight, the one, and I've lost it now. I'm going to have to go back and find it. But I'm pretty sure, was it Brigitte? You win tonight for my favorite comment. Look at this. She thinks that Thelma and Louise were knitters on their adventures. And this has absolutely been an adventure, Brigitte, for us, for Noelle and I. And I feel like we've been friends forever, and we haven't. And
No.
this is just something that makes the friendship even better. And we do
Yeah.
have little nitty adventures, and we're excited when we get to share them with you. And even more exciting, when we get to meet those of you who we've met on here and had comments with. And I really do hope that when you go to New Zealand, I hope that you do get to meet some of the people that we've met on here. I think that's
I'm going to ask too,
amazing.
because I know I'm going to like get a list. I find a list of some of the knitting stores are there, and maybe there'll be knit nights on while I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
Then I could go to a knit night. So we'll just have to see. But
and I also want to say that I'm super proud of everybody that has jumped into this community and have welcomed. And we see it week after week after week, that when somebody new shows up, and sometimes, you know what, even though, I mean, it takes a lot of courage to wander into, you might hear about a knitting group, and it would take a lot of courage to go to a coffee shop and join in with a group of strangers. But it doesn't take any less courage to start typing comments out when you're sitting behind a keyboard. And I see it week after week when people come in here and they're new and they just like, hello. And then there are those of you that are so warm and welcoming, and you're having little side conversations. And when we don't know the answer, and I mean, that happens regularly, you're all in there. You back us up, you provide answers, you help people out that need some helping out. And I just, like, we definitely feel the love of the community. And we're really proud. We're proud to be part of this group, and we're proud to have all of you here along for this ride too.
That's right. And I mean, we talk about, like, obviously talk about the knitting every week, and the knitting is wonderful, but the friendship is what the important part of it is. And just like the community and the getting together and sharing, like, is so much more important than the knitting. The knitting is just kind of like the thing that brings us together, but like there's so much more on top of that.
The knitting is the medium, but then the friendship is what we all get to take part of once we meet. And
so
my heart's full. My heart's
full. We want to thank you for joining us every Tuesday, and for everybody that watches us after. I mean, we wish that we could pick a time thing that everybody could join, but unfortunately the world isn't made that way. So
no.
But
anytime, we're anywhere. If you're anywhere near that, reach out to us. We would love to meet you. For sure we would.
So
okay, we are way over tonight. We're at an hour and 23 minutes. So that's a long night for us. And we'll be back again next Tuesday.
We'll be back next Tuesday, and have a great week and happy knitting, and we'll see you next week.
Looking for the bye-bye slide. Take care, everybody.
Bye.